wanted to do a after you're done your background type of video. I usually do the backgrounds and leave you guys kind of do your own thing, but I'm just going to give you one idea that I'm going to come up, try. So now this is just from cutting it off. If you guys recall my bleaching background where I used my alcohol inks and bleaching and some of my archival inking over top. So this is what I've just came up with. So here are my cards. And I'm going to go from here. So kind of get the after the background process going. So I have my paper cutter here because I embossed this black cardstock thinking that I was going to go with this and put a strip across here. So what I'm going to do is, because this is 2.5 inches long, I'm going to cut my paper 2.5 inches down. So I'm going to see if it's straight. I'm going to try to cut it straight. So I'm going to look to see if it's straight. First of all, I'm going to cut straight, just a little bit off the edge. And then I'm going to go in at, I'm going to have to probably, I just cut it straight on this edge. Probably have to do it on this edge as well, just so then it lines up really nice. And now I have just to worry about the last edge, which I'm going to actually cut off. So I have 2.5 inches. So this is my leftover piece. I'm just going to cut the ends a little crooked. Now I have this exactly the length of the strip that I want. So now I'm thinking I'm going to have, be wanting a band across, and that's what I'm going for with this one. So I got to think about cutting a band for all of these cards. So I'm going to lay it down this way, and I'm going to cut the strips. And I think I'm going to cut between each circle. So I'm not really having a measurement. I'm just going to cut with my looking at it in kind of the line of each circle. So I have 3 here, almost 3. Then I'll have 4 after I cut this one. Five, 6, 7, and 8. I thought, well, I'm going with that size just because it's nice, safe, and I don't have to measure it too much there, right? So there's my strips. Now this is just kind of off the cuff. I haven't done strips before. I just decided that I wanted some strips to kind of go with the round bullseye of the piece. They don't have to be centered. They can be. So I don't know. Got to play with it after that. I think actually they might pretty much all be kind of close to center, just to make it look somewhat. I must have miscounted. Oh no, I counted 8. I was supposed to count 9. Pocket letters are 9, not 8. See? I'm always missing one. I'm either missing a card or I'm missing something. So there. So that goes with my theme. As well, for my pocket letters, I do quite often enjoy, and I know I have this a little bit off to the edge, but I'm going to move them back now because I have my cutting board there. I often like to have a little name tag on each one of some sorts. It can be just a little miniature tag. It could be anything like that. I have the stamp from Stampin' Up, and it is like a label stamp. And that's what I have. And I have the same color cream, and I'm going to cut these label stamps out. So I cut out these little things. My brain's not working on what they're called. For the ATCs, or the letter pocket letters, and I didn't want them all to look the same. So I was thinking that, well, sometimes I mask, and I love to mask them. And here's a mask one, and I tear it to give it a different look. It's got the same theme going on, and I will just show you guys how I do this. I use the same card. There's a couple different ways. One, you can use the same, and I know I'm going quite far away. I'll probably just go right here. You can use the same stamp, and I'm going to do another one. Oh, actually, I'm not going to do another one. So then you can do the same stamp that you're using. I did some masks from, you know, the drawer liners and whatnot from the dollar store. I use these all the time. I stamp my stamps out that I like to do silhouettes or whatnot, use that, and I do them. So I stamped one out, and I put it right over my stamped image. I'm putting the next one below it, just on no image, just on the plain paper. Then I'm taking my ink, of course, and just going over it. So then it'll give me that look I want. I could just cut around it, but I like to tear it too. So I'm going to tear it, and I'm going to tear it towards myself. Or I have to actually tear it to show you, because I'm not sure actually thinking about it, talking about it, and then doing it. But you got to tear it so it does, the rough edges are shown on the back and not on the front, so then you get a nice look. You could even go over it a little bit more too after that to get some of the white off. But if it's on the back, it's much a different look, and it's not so, I don't know, it's not so pleasing to the eye, I don't think. So there is that. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this one off. This is the one with the stamped image like I did up here. And this is the one I've done just like that, and you can doodle your edging and whatnot afterwards. So what I do is then I just carefully tear towards myself for the one that's what I'm doing. Actually, no, tearing it away. And you have to concentrate and talk and figure out what you're doing here. It's not that easy. So then you got the rough edge on the back, and then you have the nicer edge on the front, if you like that, if that's what you want for that project, because that's what I want for this particular project. So just going over my edge, and I'm dropping it for you. So that is now that fluffy edge, because I kind of messed up on that corner. But that is that. Now for this one here, I'm just going to do the same thing, but I have to rip it a little bit because I did do that edge there and did it kind of close, but that's okay, because you could always add a little bit more ink or whatever to anything you missed. I missed a little corner here, but, and I like to have these because I like to write a little something on my cards, so they are just a little bit different. So this is a different one, and I can draw that in with my Bic pen or whatever I can doodle in with the edging, just kind of sketching the edge out so it looks a little different. So then then you can play with it. You could put them all exactly the same. You can play with it. This is just a way that I like to do it, and sometimes I don't even have the bands on there. The bands is just an idea for this band here. But these, I like to have them on each one and have a little something to give a little hint of what's behind my cards. So I think it's fun. So these are actually turning out a little bit masculine looking, perhaps, maybe not, I don't know. To me, I would be able to trade with an artist guy, and they would really enjoy this, I think. So You don't always have to make them flowery and stuff. So yeah, it's cute. I'm going to do another stamped one for that right there. Right there. See if I have enough room on here to do that. I have so much stuff out. It's not even funny. It's terrible. So again, doing this. And just blotting my ink to do my masking. It's something I like to do. It's just fun. I like the look of it. So yeah. And it looks, I think it looks just as nice without the stamped as well as it being stamped. So there's just lots of ways to do it. And again, I'm just tearing it away from my image. And if I can remember that while I'm just talking, that would be good. And that's it. So now I kind of have a design happening here, and I could play with it. I got more stamps or more of these cut out and all that kind of stuff, so I could play with it. So I'm not sure like if it's looking too manly of a project. Don't know. I'm going to cut out a couple of flowers and see how they look on this project. And if I can get them out, this one likes to give me trouble, this little cutter, little punch. So you could, yeah, I could add some flowers and make it just a little more feminine. So there's an option. So you just play with it and put things on there that you like. To be honest, this is more than I've ever spent doing an ATC. I'll show you an example of some of them. I'm sure you guys will see these on videos. I just did them on one piece. Did my background, did the same kind of thing I was showing you there. This one's actually cut out, and this is just doing my silhouette right directly on the card and stamping my sentiment on each card that I wanted to put. And that's usually the way I do it, and I'm just learning as I go with you guys, to do different things. So one of my goals is to keep, there's that one there, keep it as flat as possible, because what's going to happen is that you need to put your goodies in the back. So keep it as flat as possible. I find that they do rip the pockets. So to keep that from happening, keep your card as flat as possible, but have lots of visual texture. And yeah, I think you'll do good. I'm adding, like I said, a little bit more than I usually do to this for something a little different, but yeah, going with it. So I have decided to start gluing down just these bands and pieces here, not the whole thing, because I'm still working on the background. I might doodle and then throw this on top, but I kind of got an idea on how I want them to sit. So when they're on top, I could just glue the whole thing down. So I kind of have that idea. So I'm playing with it like that. And not, yeah, I'm not totally gluing it down to the card yet, because like I said, I still might want a stamp on the card. So I'm just kind of tacking it down. And I can deal with the full glue in the back afterwards. I know it's a little weird, eh? So, but it's because I'm not sure. If you're not sure, then you just do whatever. I don't know. I actually want to do that glue on that side, that flower, and it's going crazy. So yeah, I'm not ready to put them down there. Okay, weird. Maybe I was totally videotaping a whole long process. I'll have to check that out. I think I was. Of me chewing my gum and thinking, that's great. But anyways, I'll have to edit that. Sometimes you just don't push that button properly. But I put these bands all back, and I'm just playing with it, and I'm thinking I want to put my Punchinella on there. And this is why I happen to this time decide that, like, I've never glued anything really to them before, so this is why I happen to like the idea that you just don't quickly glue something. And I'm going to add some of this Punchinella spotting to it, just because. And then adding my piece to see what it looks like. I just decided that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm doing, really. So visual texture is really what you want instead of like height. You don't want too thick, and so for me that's a biggie to do that. So I'm just going to throw this on, and I'm kind of going with the theme of the ones with the little flowers there. I'm putting one on, and then the other ones I might just put like 3 spots of Punchinella and that kind of thing. So I'm just kind of looking to see how well it looks together, and I like it. I really like it, so that's why we're going for it. I know it's kind of fiddling with it, eh? But I mean, that's what you have to do if you want to get the way you like your look or whatever. You're just gonna have to fill it. And if I were to put that on there and then I discovered I wanted to Punchinella it, I can't do under the band, you know. So that's why I'm not limiting myself to what I want to do yet by putting that on there. So too fast, knocking my glue down, because I just don't know what I want to do yet. I could be just don't know, undecisive. That's what I am. And it doesn't really matter, like I thought maybe I was going to keep the little bands I put on there right in the center around, but I'm starting to think that I just don't care that they're not in the center, that I like the fact that they are wherever, low and high and in between. So I like that. So I also found this stamp here, which is little circles, and it's not like bullseye, but I like it, so I'm going to add a little bit. But I don't want to go too crazy. I kind of like how really bright or dark or whatever you want to call it, how it is like that. So I'm really enjoying it. Oh, and I almost got my band there, which wouldn't have, been really good if I got it on my tag. I mean, it would have been okay, but I would prefer not to have it there. Just because I am strange that way. And I'm just kind of checking if I want more than one. I'm not sure, but right now I definitely want one. I might add a little more on that one. And just totally playing with it. I think I'm just going to go through a little bit more with them. This is totally fun and crazy. And this one's going to be right there. Now I believe I am done adding more stamped images to it, so I think I'm gonna, if I add anything else, it's just gonna be right on the pieces. So I'm now gonna glue them down. So I'm gonna grab my I'm gonna grab my tacky glue just because it's just to make sure that they go down well, because it has been embossed. So it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt maybe, so I don't want to squish it down with my stick glue after I embossed it, even though you can't see that I embossed it too much, but I still want to have what I did salvage of my embossing there, so that's why. So I'm going to try to do that by carefully gluing it with the Aleene's tacky glue. By far my most favorite glue, I think. At least one of my most favorite glues, because I just love it. Doesn't take long, you tack it down, it's strong, you move on. It's good. So I'm going to tack all of these down and then come back. Okay, friends, as you can probably see, some of these are darker, and I left these ones without the edge, and I'm just edging them. That's all that I'm doing now, is edging them. I glued them on. They're going to need a backing, so I'm going to need cardstock on the back. And this is the thickest I would like to make my cards, because this is, to me, because I got lots of stuff to put in there, you know, the thickest I want to make it for me. And I usually stamp some sentiments that I have on these little tags, but I might just handwrite them this time, I think, and give a little hint on each card what could possibly be behind it. And I think that will be fun. And then once I do that, then I'm going to Mod Podge it to seal everything in and give it a nice glossy look. And it's just going to look and hold together really nice. So on the back, I'm just going to use my glue stick and glue stick my black cardstock to the back. You can use any kind of cardstock color, but this is what I'm going to do. So yeah, and then, like I said, I think I'm going to take my pen, my Sharpie pen, and just write each sentiment myself this time instead of stamping. Here's one of the stamps, like I here's for you. You guys will see videos where I use my stamps and have all the little stamp pieces on there and I use. But this time I think I'm going to write them. Okay. For my one card that I'm going to make a music card, I'm going to try to write this quote, "Music is what feelings sound like." I'm not sure how well I'm going to write it, but we're going to try. So here we go with that one. And I did get something on this card. Well, I'm going to continue with trying to write. The center one is going to be "A Note for You." And you think I could write them all uppercase or lowercase? Nope. So I did do it so I can kind of doodle on the notes, make them a little fancy. Learned that on Gina Aaron's video, where you kind of go thicker on the ends. So like that. Thank you, Gina. I have hideous writing, but this is much better. Even though some of them are capital, some of them are lowercase. It's a wacky, whatever. I kind of went that way. I write really funny. Sometimes, like I said before here, I wrote some of the words handwriting, some of them were printing. It's very crazy. Very crazy. Sometimes we get so out of writing too. This one's even better. I like this one better. I'm thinking I'm going to keep writing that way. I like it. "A Note for You." So then, that's what I'm going to do. I think I might redo this one. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. But I'm going to just individually do them all. Okay, so this is basically how it's come together. This time I wrote my sentiments. This is how I'd like to have them look. My note for you, so this is where my note about for them is going to be. Maybe a little bit about myself, but for them in the center. A unique you, this is where I'd like to do something unique for them, so I'm going to probably write their name out, cut it out, do something fancy, special with that, a play with words. This is the card where I'm going to put the stamped out words that I have for them, or cut out words I find, or something fancy like that. It could be chipboard words, all that kind of thing. This one's going to be a little bling. It's going to be my little bling strips. I'm going to do all sorts of color, and that's what I'm going to do. A treat, so I'm going to have a little treat. It could be a little package of candy or something like that. It could be a coffee card if the person lives near me, you know, in my country where they can use it or something. Music is feelings, and I'm going to put the music paper behind that and some music things like perhaps music notes, finding some little things with that deal with music. And I'd like to put tea, so if I happen to have any more of my northern tea here that I got, Inuit tea, I might put that in there, or some other kind of tea that I enjoy. So this one's my enjoy tea. A little extra, I think I'm going to put some extra ribbon or thread or something like that in that particular one. And where I'm from is going to be something to do with where I'm from in behind this pocket, in this pocket. So it could be a little map, it could be anything like that, from different Canadian stamps, anything like that. So now all I have to do is put a backing to make these cards nice and firm, and stick them in my pocket letters with my little treats and embellishments and whatnot, stuff that goes in there. So these are going to be done now. I'm just going to have to, the last thing I will have to do is add the Mod Podge. So I'm just going to show you Mod Podging with a nice little bit of a glossy Mod Podge I chose. And I'm just going to go over it, seal it in, and then if anything splashes on there or anything, it's going to be easy to wipe and make sure everything kind of stays put too. And that's what I'm going to do to all of them. It also pulls out more color, I find. Once I Mod Podge them, it seems to make it just a little brighter too, so I like that. So that's what I do with all of them. Now I'm just using my glue stick and sticking them to the back of my, well, sticking them to my cardstock, black cardstock, and then cutting them out. Just like that, just to make them more stiff, able to handle them better when you're pulling them in and out of the pocket letter to enjoy your stuff inside. So that's why I am doing individual, each one a little backing to it. And I have Mod Podge on there as well, so it's nice and shiny and protected. So my friends, I am done with this. From the time that I got glue all over me, I was done the background to doing the front and having everything kind of written out and my plan and what I'm going to do. I hope you guys got the idea of, I hope I'm helpful with good ideas or some new ideas or different ways of trying things, and just to help anyone who's just starting maybe out with this in our group or whatever. I know this is not exactly how the original person who made the idea done it, because I've seen different little things and people doing things a little differently and stuff, but this is how I've done it. And yeah, So I'm hoping you enjoyed that. So you can see that they all have the same theme. And I'm going to turn my board around. And that's how they look. And I hope you guys like that. This is them not in the pocket. They all have their backing on them now. And my next part now is just throwing them in the pocket as well as putting everything behind it. And I don't really want to do that on the video because this is going out to somebody, so they'll see exactly what they have, and that wouldn't be too fun. At least if they see the front and they're like, oh, I seen that video, at least they'll be surprised at what's behind it. So thanks guys. If you liked this, please thumbs up, and if you have any other questions, please ask. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.